All right, get ready. We're diving deep into a football rivalry packed with more drama than a telenovela. Brazil versus Colombia.
And this isn't just a friendly, oh no. This World Cup qualifier on March 20th, 2025, it could be a defining moment for both teams.
Absolutely, yeah. This time, it's way more than just bragging rights. Both these squads are carrying a lot on their shoulders, each with a different kind of pressure, I'd say.
Okay, so let's unpack that pressure cooker, shall we? Starting with Brazil. They're at the top
Yeah.
of the CONMEBOL standings, right?
Yeah,
But it's not just about staying there, is it? It's about legacy, isn't it?
exactly. Under Diniz, there's this feeling that Brazil is rediscovering their swagger, that beautiful attacking football that they're famous for.
Yeah.
But just imagine if they were to stumble against Colombia. It could put a real dent in that momentum.
And let's be honest, a loss to Colombia, that'd be a feast for the media, wouldn't it? Talk about pressure. But what about Colombia then? They're not exactly cruising into this match, are they? No, not at all. For Colombia, this match, it's practically a lifeline. They need every single point to keep those World Cup dreams alive.
So a win against Brazil, it wouldn't just be 3 points, would it? It would be a seismic shift for their whole campaign.
Oh, imagine the shockwaves. Toppling a giant like Brazil on their home turf, that kind of victory, injects confidence, momentum, maybe even a bit of fear into those future opponents. It could be the spark that ignites their whole run.
Okay, so sky-high stakes. But what about what's going to happen on the pitch? These two teams, they play a very different game, don't they?
Night and day, really. Brazil, as we said, it's all about that free-flowing possession game. Midfield's like a well-oiled machine that can hit you, like a jaguar. On the break, Vinicius Jr., Rafinha. On the wings, they can turn defenders inside out.
Brazil's attack is terrifying. But you mentioned Colombia. It's more about a disciplined defense, waiting to pounce. But it's not exactly parking the bus, is it?
Not quite. Colombia's strategy, it's controlled aggression. Absorb the pressure, wait for the perfect moment, then unleash their firepower. And their main weapon, Luis Diaz.
Diaz. He's the one I've got circled on my fantasy team. The guy is electric. But Brazil have to be aware of more than just his speed, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Diaz, he's not just fast. Clinical finishing as well. He can make something out of nothing. And then you've got Cuadrado. Creativity, vision, unmatched. He can unlock a defense with one pass.
It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head. Okay, so we've got contrasting styles, nail-biting stakes. But this is also a clash of some of football's biggest names, isn't it? This match, it's overflowing with star power. Let's start with the legend himself, Neymar.
I have to admit, I thought Neymar's time at the top was, fading. But he's 33, and he's still leading the charge for Brazil.
He might not be, the flashy, unpredictable kid he once was, but experience. It's refined his game, more calculated, more strategic. But that touch of magic, that's still there. He's the heart and soul of this Brazilian team, no question. So for Brazil, it's about Neymar's leadership. For Colombia, it seems their hopes rest on Luis Diaz's young shoulders.
Diaz is the danger man for Colombia. He's the one Brazil needs to shut down. If they want to control this match, he's their X factor.
All right, so we've got these flashy forwards. But what about the midfield battle? That's often where the game is won and lost, isn't it? So who are the key players to watch there?
Well, you can't talk midfield dominance without mentioning Casemiro. Brazil's anchor, the general, dictates the tempo, shields the defense. But he's going to have his work cut out for him. Against Colombia's Wilmar Barrios.
I've heard of Barrios. Isn't he like the human equivalent of a tackling machine?
Tenacious, that's for sure. A real ball winner. It's going to be brains versus brawn in that midfield. Casemiro's intelligence, tactical awareness, up against Barrios' relentless energy and physicality.
It's like watching a chess match, played at 100 miles an hour. And while we're talking exciting players, what about the young guns? I hear both teams have some rising stars. Who could make a real impact?
This is where it gets interesting. Brazil has Endrick, 18-year-old striker, already drawing comparisons to some of the greats, but he's raw, unproven. On this big stage, can he handle the pressure cooker of a match like this?
It's a gamble for Diniz, isn't it? To
Yeah.
put so much faith in a young player, especially in a match with this much at stake. But if he delivers, talk about a storybook moment.
Exactly. And then you've got Colombia's Jean Duran, another player making waves, powerful, versatile, and has this knack for finding the back of the net.
So we've got seasoned veterans, rising stars,
Yeah.
a clash of styles. That could light up the Amazon. Now, I know we can't predict the future, but what are some key moments that we should be watching for? Those turning points. That could decide the fate of this match.
Well, an early goal for either side. Could change everything. If Brazil strike first, their confidence will soar. They'll likely go for the jugular. But imagine the pressure. If Colombia draw first blood.
Brazil would be like a caged jaguar, desperate to equalize. Talk about a roller coaster. But let's be honest, sometimes it all comes down to the man between the sticks, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Goalkeepers, the unsung heroes, the last line of defense. And both these teams, they've got absolute titans in goal.
Brazil has Alisson Becker. He's like a wall. I have to admit, I don't know much about Colombia's keeper.
David Ospina, a veteran, a calming presence, known for pulling off some pretty spectacular saves, especially when the pressure's on. These two keepers, they could be the difference makers in a tight match like this one.
We can't forget about those players waiting on the sidelines. Both teams, serious firepower. On the bench, it's like having a whole second team, isn't it? Ready to go?
The substitutions, they can change a game, especially a match. As physically demanding as this one, Brazil, they can bring on Antony, a winger known for, his trickery, his ability to change the pace. And then you have Bruno Guimaraes, a midfielder who can add a little bit of steel and some creativity to their attack.
Guimaraes, I've heard he's like a younger version of Casemiro. Would you say that's accurate?
Well, he's definitely got that grit, that tactical awareness. But Guimaraes, he also brings this attacking flair that can really unlock a defense.
So not just a defensive replacement then. He can actually change the momentum of the whole match.
Exactly. And for Colombia, they have Matheus Uribe waiting in the wings.
Okay, Uribe. Refresh my memory. What makes him one to watch?
Well, he's a midfielder, known for his clutch performances, seems to thrive in those high-pressure situations. He's got a knack for scoring important goals. And he's not afraid to, get stuck in defensively.
So the kind of player you want when the game is on the line. Ice in his veins.
That's a perfect way to describe him. A real leader. And his experience could be vital for Colombia in those latter stages.
Okay, I'm already getting chills, thinking about all the possible scenarios. This match, it's got all the ingredients of a classic. But we can't forget, can we? This isn't happening in isolation. It's all part of a bigger journey for both teams.
That's right, just one chapter in their World Cup qualifying saga.
So let's look ahead. What other challenges are waiting for these two South American giants?
Well, for Brazil, the road ahead is paved with some tough encounters. They've got that legendary Superclásico de las Americas against their arch rivals, Argentina.
Oh, that match, it's always a powder keg. I can already imagine the fireworks. It's like the whole continent holds its breath.
A match steeped in history, passion, rivalry, and let's not forget, Argentina, looking formidable these days. Then they have to deal with a revitalized Uruguay squad, some exciting young players starting to make their mark.
Uruguay, always tough. They've got that never say die attitude, makes them so dangerous. But what about Colombia? What's next on their agenda after this clash with Brazil?
Well, they're facing Ecuador, a match that could be crucial for their World Cup hopes, a six-pointer, a must-win if they want to stay in the hunt for a top 4 spot.
So every point is precious. They can't afford to slip up. But Ecuador, they're no pushover. They've been a bit of a surprise package in these qualifiers.
They have.
Yeah.
A young, energetic team playing with a lot of confidence. It's going to be a real test for Colombia. And then there's always challenging
Chile, with their high pressing, relentless style. They can suffocate a team, make it difficult to even string a few passes together.
Exactly. A new generation of players eager to prove themselves. Another tough battle for Colombia.
It seems like both teams, they're in for a real roller coaster every match, a potential banana skin.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to that Brazil-Colombia showdown, March 20th. What stands out to you as the most captivating storyline going into this match?
For me, it's that clash of philosophies. You've got Brazil with their attacking flair, their emphasis on, individual brilliance, going up against Colombia, more disciplined, counter-attacking approach. It's almost, it's like a microcosm of the tactical evolution we're seeing in modern football.
Like that classic debate, is it better to have a team of stars or a star team?
Exactly. And this match, maybe it'll give us the answer. Will Brazil's individual stars, will they outshine Colombia's collective strength? Or will it be Colombia's tactical discipline that neutralizes Brazil's offensive firepower?
A fascinating question. Makes this match so unpredictable, so exciting.
Right.
For the fans around the world, individual brilliance on one side, tactical mastery on the other, the recipe for an epic encounter. Speaking of individual brilliance, we have to talk about Neymar.
Carrying the weight of a nation on his shoulders for years, but even at 33, still showing those glimpses of that incredible talent, a global icon, his leadership, his experience, crucial for Brazil in this match.
Neymar has been struggling with injuries lately.
Yeah.
Is there a concern he might not be at his best for this match? Could that open the door for Colombia?
It's definitely a factor. Neymar's fitness, always a talking point. But even if he's not 100%, still a threat, he can create something out of nothing. Colombia's defenders, they'll be wary of giving him too much space.
He's a game changer, no doubt. But not the only one. Luis Diaz, on the other side, a player who's quickly becoming one of the most exciting wingers in the world.
Diaz's rise, phenomenal. He's got everything. Pace, skill, vision, and a lethal finish, a constant threat. Brazil's defense, their hands full, trying to contain him.
Colombia's defensive approach, it can be effective, but it can also backfire against a team like Brazil. So relentless in attack. It'll be fascinating to see who dictates the pace.
It's a great point. Brazil might be tempted to go all-out attack, try to overwhelm Colombia early. But if they leave themselves exposed, Diaz and Cuadrado, they could punish them on the counter.
It's high risk, high reward for Brazil. And let's not forget, this match, absolutely crucial for Colombia's World Cup dreams. A win against Brazil, it could be the catalyst to turn their campaign around.
It really could be, yeah. They're currently on the outside looking in. When it comes to those automatic qualification spots, a win here. Huge statement, not just for the team, but for, Colombian football.
It'd send a message, wouldn't it, to the rest of South America? That Colombia is a force to be reckoned with. But Brazil won't go down without a fight.
Oh, no, not at all. They are the reigning Copa America champions. For a reason, they have the depth, the experience, and that winning mentality. It's been in their DNA for decades.
It's like they just expect to win, isn't it? Which can be intimidating in itself. We've talked a lot about the tactics, the star players. But what about the mental game, this rivalry? It has some serious history, right?
They can't ignore the psychological impact of a match like this, especially given the history between these two nations.
I'm thinking specifically about that 2014 World Cup quarterfinal, Neymar's injury, the intensity, the drama.
That match, it's etched in the memory of both sets of fans. I'm sure the players haven't forgotten it either. It adds another layer of complexity to this encounter.
You think there's a chance that match could fuel some, a desire for revenge? Maybe even lead to some more aggressive play.
It's possible, yeah. For Brazil, it could be a source of motivation, a reminder of their dominance, but also, a reminder of their vulnerability. They'll want to protect their star players, avoid another incident like that.
So a more cautious approach, maybe?
Yeah.
From Brazil. What about Colombia? How do you think they approach this mentally, given the history?
I think for Colombia, it's a balance, isn't it? Drawing inspiration from that 2014 victory, but not letting the weight of history overwhelm them. They know they can compete with Brazil, but they also know they can't afford to get caught up in the emotion of the occasion.
Like finding that sweet spot between confidence and composure.
Exactly. Play with the heart of a lion, but the mind of a strategist.
Okay, so we got these two teams, each with their own ambitions, their own burdens, their own styles. What a matchup. I'm on the edge of my seat already. One final thought before we go, something to chew on for our listeners. As they watch this South American showdown unfold.
This match, it raises a really interesting question. How much does individual brilliance really matter against a well-coordinated team effort? Something to think about as you watch Brazil's individual stars go up against Colombia's disciplined unit. It may not have a simple answer, but it's worth pondering.
It's the classic debate. Talent versus teamwork. Who knows? Maybe this match will give us some clues. We've armed you with the knowledge, the insights, the drama. Now it's your turn to enjoy the spectacle, this Brazil-Colombia clash. It's going to be one for the ages.